Ajala Ministries. Today we're going to be delving deeper into the November devotional, which is entitled Fulfilling Your Potential. So we're just going to discuss and, try and get a proper understanding of what fulfilling your potential means and why it's important as a believer. So the first place we're going to start, the question I'm going to throw out to you is, why do you need to fulfill your potential? What is the importance of fulfilling your potential?
I think for me, it's so important that you fulfill your potential, because at the end of the day, you have one shot to live life. And to finish your days knowing that there is more for you to give, I think is the biggest regret a human being can have. So fulfilling your potential means basically you have given your all. Like the apostle said, he's literally poured himself out as a sacrifice. And so going out of the world, we want to make sure that we have nothing left to give, because we were sent here to enhance it. So we must fulfill our potential.
That makes sense. For anybody who doesn't really know what fulfilling your potential means, would any of you be able to give like a definition?
To me, it means actually living with direction each and every single day. Because like Mimi was saying, that you have to give your all. But if you don't know what you're giving your all to, you don't have a guide to this is what I'm giving my all to. You're just going to be waking up each day and be like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. But if you have a direction, this is where I'm beginning, but I have the capacity to go further than this. I have the capacity to reach this point. You still know where you're going. It's like, okay, today I've done step 1. Tomorrow I've got step 2. And each day your capacity and your ability increases and your potential is being fulfilled.
Absolutely. It's so powerful.
Yeah, I mean, off the back of that as well, the Bible tells us in Jeremiah that God knew us even before we're formed in the mother's womb. So there's that set thing and that set pathway that God has prepared for you.
Yeah.
So why would you want to be living life like a guessing game when you can just take time out and actually search out what God has brought you here for?
Absolutely. It's so funny that you guys say that, and especially in our generation, obviously the biggest thing as well sometimes you can find is that we are trend followers, and I hate with a passion trends because it makes you I was teaching my son recently that me and my husband were having this debate about competition, and where I don't want to put him in a cuckoo cloud and say everyone's a winner, right? At the same time, I want to let him know that he shouldn't compete with other people. He must compete with what his potential is, because the truth about it is that if you know or have a guide as to what your potential is, just like Amina was saying, where okay, I can do more. There's more to me than what I am right now. It's a benchmark to always push you for further. But if you don't have that in mind, then, if, Shakira says today that, this is life, then you're going to settle as, okay, I've become a vlogger, so I'm living life. Meanwhile, maybe you were supposed to be reaching the world, but you have set yourself against somebody else's strength. So you discover your potential and what you can do causes you to compete with yourself. And I think that for our generation especially, I think that is a must, learning to compete with yourself and not the crowd.
So can I ask, what's the difference between potential and purpose? Or are they the same thing? Or
potential would be the capacity for your purpose.
Right.
So I wouldn't necessarily say it's the same thing. Potential's what you need to maximize, and once you've maximized it, then you get that tick saying you fulfilled your purpose.
It's almost like a aeroplane, right? That's created. It's created with a vision in mind. The creator, the manufacturer has, what it wants that aeroplane to do. And so the wings, the engine, everything about that's inside of that aeroplane is designed to fulfill that manufacturer's dream. So, if I wasn't supposed to be a singer, Jesus knows I would love to sing. Amina's got to let me into that Serenity Choir one day. But I think God knows that I have no business in that. So I don't have the capacity. No matter how hard I try, I just can't sing. So there's so many times that we also beat ourselves down because we can't do something, but we can't do something because we don't have no business doing that. But what I need to do, I have the capacity to do it.
Okay, I understand that.
All right.
Makes sense. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so I think we don't ever want to deviate from the point that this is so important for believers. So I know outside of the body of Christ, people will talk about, I need to fulfill my potential. I need to, keep pressing forward and doing the best I can. But as a believer, I think we all know the thing that separates us is our active relationship with God.
Mm-hmm.
So in regards to fulfilling your potential, why, I'm sure we all know this, but why is having an active relationship with God so important?
God is imagine this, how do I take somebody's dream and don't have nothing to do with them? When people say, I'm going to fulfill their potential and they're not believers, it's quite strange. Even if they achieve great things, very likely that they might not have actually accomplished what they have the capacity to do because they tried to do it without the manufacturer. So if the world clapped for them, they could have been capable of more. We just don't know. So an active relationship with God is basically an active relationship with the one who created you, the one who knows the details of me. My Mercedes, I tend not to take it to the local garage. I tend to take it to Mercedes because Mercedes know my car inside out. I remember there was a time where I was desperate, and so I took it to the garage next door, and the man was fumbling, and then he said something. He said, to be fair with you, Mercedes have put in this key now, so it means that everything has to go through their head office. So basically, me going to this mechanic was gonna get me to kind of sidetrack, probably get my car into a bit of a mess when going to Mercedes, and he was trying to go there anyway to get me there, so he was going to the manufacturer anyway. So why don't I just take myself directly to the person who created the car? The same thing again with myself. An active relationship with God is basically making sure that I'm in tune with the person who knows everything there is to know about me. You cannot fulfill your potential without God. It's absolutely impossible. Everything that everyone else says is probably motivational talk, but it will run you into a bit of a danger.
You cannot fulfill your potential without God. Let's all take that.
Don't try to be a Tower Babble, get to heaven without God. No, it's not gonna happen.